Welcome back, BrunchHERs. You know we always find the perfect spot for real talk. And today, we're at one of Cleveland's brightest gems, BrightSide Café, right here on West 25th. I love this spot, y'all. It is such a vibe. Like, just the aesthetics is super dope. If you've been here before, then you already know. Sunlight pouring through the windows. It's a little gray, you know, we in fall, but that's okay. We got greenery everywhere. I mean, it's a really dope spot. The smell of espresso in the air, you know, Brie got her espresso martini going on.
If you're on YouTube, you can see it.
Yes. But I need y'all to like take it in. If you're listening in, right, just take it in. And then, you know, the playlist always sets the mood. This place is great in the daytime and nighttime. The dinner is amazing. The brunch is amazing. But yeah, honestly, you know, that's exactly what we need for this conversation. This is a big conversation today, and we need that good energy. So we need y'all to send that through the airwaves. So you can talk about some real stuff. Yes. We're getting into something that's really deep. So many of us are feeling this right now. There's a lot going on in our country, and we want to make sure that we touch on that as women, as Black women, as women over 40. And it's called financial depression. That quiet space between wanting to show up and feeling like you can't. Let's talk about that. Yeah. So today, surrounded by all of this ambiance and this beauty, we're choosing honesty. We're breaking the silence, one plate, one conversation at a time. So ladies, let's open up this table. Let's raise these glasses. Woo! Here's to finding the bright side.
Cheers on
even in... We're going to make sure we cheers. Here's to finding the bright side, even in hard seasons.
Because you have to.
Because you have to. So today's conversation hits home for a lot of women. Financial depression, that's a feeling that when money is tight or you've lost your job, which we know has happened with a lot of us, or finances just aren't adding up, and it starts affecting your mental health, your confidence, and even your friendships. So here's a stat. Y'all know we gotta have a stat.
About the numbers, y'all. About the numbers.
All about the numbers. As of late 2025, the unemployment rate for Black women sits around 6.7%, and over 300,000 Black women have left or been pushed out of the workforce this year alone. Many because of the rollback of DEI initiatives and the government layoffs. This is like really tough for us. Like, what happens when the bills keep coming in, but the brunch invites don't stop? Like, you want to show up, right, but what do? Your wallet says...
And there goes
I want to be there.
I want to be there.
Do you have it?
Find a rich auntie. Or rich uncle.
Or rich uncle or auntie. But, you know, the it's not accessible. But, like, it says, like, your wallet's like, I can't do it this weekend. But then that becomes weekend after weekend. So that's what we're going to unpack today. There was a TikTok that went viral. Actually, shout out to my girl Jamina in Montreal. I love her to life. She sent me this TikTok, and it talks about financial depression. And this girl was like, a lot of times it's not that you don't want to show up. It's that you literally can't. So that's, you know, right there. Financial depression, like, can look different. So I want to ask y'all some questions. Let's talk about, when you hear that, when you hear financial depression, what does it mean to you personally? Like, how is that?
Wait,
how does that show up?
I'm sorry.
So the TikTok essentially said, she was like, you know, oftentimes your friends are going through a financial depression, and you call them and they go into like a reclusive kind of state. They sit back, they don't show up. They don't even give you a reason. They're just like, no, girl, I can't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
They bypass
the direct conversation. The
direct conversation. Yeah. I mean, I got my stories, y'all.
Right. Yeah.
But when you think about like financial depression, I had never heard that. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. And I think like a lot of times we walk around with these kinds of feelings, and first of all, you can't codify everything. Like, everything doesn't have a definition, but it does have a feeling. But financial depression, sometimes when you do give it a name, you're like, that makes sense. I get that. So when you hear that, what does that mean to you? Like, how does it mean to you personally?
Yeah. You know, actually, at first it meant like I'm not coming and I'm just gonna hide it. Right. Then it more so turned into like, I still want to do something, so let's just bring it home.
There you go.
So I could still get the feeling,
yes,
but on a budget. Like now I'm only providing one dish. You guys bring whatever. We're all gonna come together. We're still gonna get but it's just gonna be at the house.
Yeah.
This time.
Bringing
Yeah,
it back
exactly.
to that circles back to when we set the table, right? The very first episode.
Yeah.
And we talked about what does that brunch table mean, and I don't know if it was you or even me talking about that family aspect.
Yes.
Where the concept of bringing money to the brunch table was never even discussed
Oh.
because it was just already the security,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
space of the warmth. And I think too in these spaces, if you have friend groups where you don't feel authentic, this is a perfect time to shed that
Yeah.
and find
It is.
authenticity and friends
Yeah.
that will show up for you no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
This is the
matter what.
weeding season.
It is. It is. I mean, if you kind of think about that in seasons of life, but I would say for me, financial depression, what I thought you were kind of leading to was like financial is one word, depression is another.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But
a
it's
real
like when
thing.
you start to like break that up and then bring it back together, you're like, think about what depression is and how, I know for me, I want to get out of bed. I feel terrible.
Right.
I feel like a loser. I know in one of the episodes I mentioned like walking around with a big L on my head, and around that season of my life, watch that episode. It's you'll know it when you see it. But around that season of my life, I was going through a lot. I was transitioning from my chosen father, and I was broker than a joker.
Yes.
So it was a lot of depression happening, and then to amplify that with the fact that I didn't have no money.
Did
you
you
go.
notice it was depression though?
That's the point. Like I
never
seeing
noticed.
I can't put a name to it, but
Right.
saying financial depression gives me a name and an understanding of what I was actually going
Like,
through
that's
in
what
my
that was.
20s. That's what that was.
It's, I think it's good to identify, and that's the part where it goes into knowing yourself,
Yeah.
your community. When I think about a phase of my life where I've had financial depression, it was really, I wasn't raised with a lot. Raised really humble. I remember having to keep a log of what I wore to school because I didn't want
you want to
to
wear the same thing twice in a week.
So
Yeah.
very, very humble beginnings, even with working class parents. And so the concept of financial depression was like, oh, that's just how I grew up.
Yeah.
And so when I started working for myself, I started working at 16. Really, that money was, some of it was for me, and then later on it became contributing to the household and then to my own life later.
Yeah.
But I've always balled on a budget. I didn't care. I look cute in my $12 Express jeans
Yeah.
that I happen to find in the clearance rack, and I'm still very much that way.
Yeah.
And I think on the other side of financial depression is I still am very frugal in certain aspects.
Yeah.
And then now I'm thinking, okay, what do we really need all these things?
I think that's I believe truly a part of the conversation. But like when you're in that,
It's hard.
those things don't even, that's not even
Especially
coming
if
up.
you're looking at a friend group that was doing a lot, and now you have to sit down. And I feel that goes back to, can you be honest with maybe not everybody, but maybe it just looks different.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
maybe it's more about having tea, or
Maybe
it's
it
more about
is.
just going for walks or doing free things that are accessible. I know
Absolutely.
I'm jumping ahead, but
Yeah.
I'm
But
saying.
Yeah.
you got anything to add there, Leah?
I mean, when I think about financial depression, it makes me think about the point right before it hit depression, because there's like if we think about the spectrum of before you get to depression, there's something else happening.
There's a trigger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a trigger.
Yeah.
There's some kind of pattern, some kind of habit and we are getting signs. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like before. And so what's coming up for me is just sort of like, what are the signs before it gets to the depression point? That's just the main thing that's coming up for me right now.
It's
is
so
like,
interesting.
yeah.
So, I mean, when you think about your seasons potentially of financial depression, I know I had mine. When you pulled back socially, or if you didn't, maybe, I don't know. But did you pull back because you didn't have the money to participate? Did you, what were your reasons for like pulling back socially, or specifically like a time where you pulled back socially because you just didn't have the money?
So I ain't got it.
I just ain't got it.
I ain't got
Yeah.
it. I do not have it.
Guys, actually, I'm gonna take a bite off of what Aunty said because I'm
balling on a budget. I know that's where she going.
I didn't grow up in poverty.
Yeah.
I grew up in fake it till you make it if you don't have it.
Girl.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so much of that pours into my adult life. I am not frugal. I have that mindset of like, we either had it or we faked it on top of hustle mentality. So I'm going through a season of like breaking down all of that.
Yeah.
I've never said no.
Yeah.
I've said yes and still went and spent and was like, I'm just going to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. What do you mean not having it was never an option?
Yeah.
It's so interesting because it's like what I'm also hearing too is like we think that financial depression looks one way, but I would even say that is a glimpse into financial depression as well.
Because there could be debt created from that, right? Like, however, like if it's not in the bank, where are you pulling it from? And I know that personally.
Thin air.
Yes, exactly. Literally.
I think before we were chatting, there's this audio recording by Deepak Chopra. It's called Creating Affluence. It's like, I forgot, I'm messing up the name, but I know it's Creating Affluence is in the title. And he was kind of quoting where they were discussing kind of doing this event with some kind of guru. He was going to have this big event, and somebody rushed up and was like, well, guru, Mahisha Reishi, something like that. I'm sorry. But where is the money going to come from? And his response was, wherever it is at the time.
Yeah.
You have to let go of the lack thought.
Yes.
But that's hard to do when you got negative $75.
When you're exactly.
And you're trying to figure out where things coming out. And I don't want to be dismissive because we can sit down and shift and go, I'm thinking about gratitude, I'm thinking about abundance. But if you have people to feed,
absolutely,
it's a gray area.
And I think that it's a very gray area. But like what y'all are saying too, and especially like we gonna figure it out, we're going anywhere, there is no. How much do you think like how much of that pressure comes from wanting to appear like we still got it together, like you still got it when you don't? Like,
I mean,
how much of that? But why is that? Like, what is that like rooted from? Like, why are we this way? Why do we feel like we have to prove? I think like we still got it together?
I think it's part of it is so in Sisters of the Yam by Bell Hooks, she references
Sisters of the what? I'm sorry.
Sisters of the Yam by Bell Hooks.
Yes.
She mentioned something by M. Scott Peck in The Road Less Traveled. Yes. And one of the things he talked about was how there's this interconnectedness between the lies we tell ourselves and mental illness.
Yes.
And I think part of it is that we've been indoctrinated to lie. Like if we just look back through history.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It was dangerous to tell the truth. And so I think part of it is also there is a little bit of that still in us. Not a little bit, there's a whole lot still in us. Yeah. But I think part of it is we're not really telling ourselves the truth.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, we're pretending.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And to be able to end the pretending takes a completely different kind of work.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
I agree. I think that, so when I grew up, my mother didn't have much, and similarly, right, I think we were like below humble. I don't even know what you call it, but it was a struggle, and we were on food stamps. And this was back when they had the books at 65. If you know about the books at 65, you were definitely over 40. But we had the books at 65, and again, and I mentioned this in one of the episodes, a lot of times it was about what it looked like and not necessarily what it was. Right. So I grew up very early at a young age, knowing that it was a little bit, not because of my mother, but I felt a little bit ashamed on being on food stamps. Yeah. I remember going into the store one time, got a corner store, and my sisters and I had like a way of doing stuff, right? Like, you scan the store to see if any of your friends in there. First, because you're not taking it.
You're not doing it.
And a lot of your friends, a lot of those friends were also in the same.
But see, and that really is the point, right? Like everybody is doing the same. But you don't. But this is the whole fronting and this appearance of things. And my mother always kept us. My mother, one thing she did do well was she always had great credit, and so we would do the deferred payment on our little stuff from May Company, and we always had nice stuff on. So nobody would have known, right? And this is this appearance of things. But the story, yes.
Go back so we don't know the steps.
So we went in the store, we would scan the store, and we make sure we're okay. We get our stuff real fast, go to the register and check out. One time, y'all, the girl, so you know how they have the stuff at the register to buy. So I'm at the register, I already did my scan, I go to the register, I'm thinking I'm in the clear. She comes in, and she just want to get something that's already at the register.
No. She messed the whole thing up.
Messed up the flow.
The shame.
Messed it up.
My heart rate. Yeah. Think about the trauma that instills in a young child. Not because of my mother, but because I felt inadequate. I felt shame. I'm like, she's gonna talk about me at school. Like, it's going to be a bad thing. The guy was like, he literally had already rang it out. I was like, I gotta get something else. I refused to show those food stamps. Now, fast forward to years later, my mother would leave us with the book of 65, and I was like, oh, we about to go have a party. Literally. We'd go down the streets to around the corner where they would accept the food stamps for the cooked food, which they wasn't supposed to do. But the point is that it developed this way of having to hide because we didn't have enough. My mother was a single mother of 3 children. What could she do? She did the best that she could with what she had, but I was embarrassed. And to your point, later on, you found out everybody was on food stamps.
Listen, I remember when I was, so I was in New York. I had left a position.
And we used to sell ours too.
That's illegal.
Listen,
sorry.
That's not true.
I mean, that was back in the day. That was back in the day.
Snatch back. But I was working. I had stopped work. I was working for an agency for like 6.5 years, and then I left. And I needed, I didn't have any income coming in, and so it was to even get the food stamps. First of all, in New York, I don't know how it was in Cleveland or how it is in Cleveland, but in New York, I had to like go in and take a test. I had to take a test.
Oh my goodness!
It was like a back to work kind of thing. So it was like you had to come in from 9 to 5 or whatever and be searching for a position, and that was what allowed you to have access.
They call it workforce dimensions.
To the food. It was wild.
Yeah.
So anyways, but I had to take this test, and I remember taking this test. Literally, it was like a test, and I remember going into the bathroom and just boo-hooing, like, "Oh my God, like, is this what it's come down to? What happened? How did this happen?" And then, anyways, fast forward, went through that, got the card, and I remember the first time that I used it, I was just sort of like, how am I going to be with what is a gift that is also matched with my own shame?
Because you need to be grateful for that.
Because I had to be grateful.
Yeah.
You have to be.
How can you be grateful and ungrateful?
And then it's going to be taken away.
But you need it.
You need it. And
but
not
you
only
are
that.
grateful for it.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like, stop playing. We paid for this.
Right.
You know
Our
what I'm saying?
tax dollars
It's like
paid
our
for
tax
it.
dollars
Yes.
paid for this. So
Yes.
I think that
So
thing
if I
too,
use it,
if you have to use
Yes.
it, and also for me, it was like, this is temporary for me. Like, I'm
There you go.
not trying to make a lifestyle out
Right.
of this.
I'm not living
You know
on
what I'm
this.
saying? I'm
Yeah.
like, but I
Longevity
do.
and lack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I do need some assistance right now, and I've assisted y'all with my money.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so I
you.
think finding that, like, breaking through with the shame around it, because we all need support. Every now and
we
again.
all need support.
We all need
And I
support every
think
now and
so.
again.
If we were to bring this like current, like we've talked about our youth, we talked about our past and our experiences. Why do you think that it's so hard for us, especially as Black women over 40? I got my thoughts, to admit that we're struggling financially.
Keeping up with the Joneses. This is literally that.
It is. It is.
It's keeping up with the Joneses, being afraid of the mean girls, being afraid of being labeled
left
as
out.
Judged. Yeah.
left
You
out.
over 40.
Instead of being communal about this shit.
On a
Exactly.
personal level,
Yeah.
it carried. I had a lot of shame and trauma because of being teased.
Yeah.
When I was younger and not having, and then you realize these people were actually stealing clothes that they were flossing in.
Yeah.
Right.
Here I am taking my little hard-on check from Old Navy or whatever,
Right.
and they were actually stealing clothes. And it's this realization as I
did that.
matured that I don't give up about what other people are doing.
Yeah.
And I sit in gratitude.
But why do you feel like as us over 40 that it's so hard? Like, why do you think that's the case?
I mean, but that's the thing. I personally don't think it's hard.
Well, I mean, if you were to think, so for me, what I think I am so fortunate, I'm so blessed, but I think I even told you last night, all this shit could be gone
Exactly.
in a matter of moments, right?
You
So
gotta
I
pivot.
sit in humility that I know it could go. And so when I look at all these women that have lost their jobs in this late part of the year, and then the additional people who have lost their jobs,
will
I would
continue to lose their
absolutely,
jobs.
I cannot say here that I would be like, okay, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I would have to pull myself up because of the work that I have done personally.
Right.
But I know that it would not be easy because as a Black woman, we're expected to have it. And we're expected to just be good, right?
Yeah.
We
Right.
are
Why
the
is that?
puller
So why
uppers
are we
of people.
expected to have it,
No one's
though?
talking about it.
No, and that's another
No,
thing
I'm
too.
talking about
I
the
think
fact that
right.
I've had 2
I agree.
cars repossessed. We're not talking about that.
No, we're not.
I'm not openly sharing that with people,
Yeah.
but I should be.
Right.
People are out here buying fucking houses with their grandparents' help, with their parents'
Yeah.
help.
Right.
But then they're inviting you in, like, look at what I
I
did.
did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a very good
You know
point.
what?
Like,
Yeah.
if they're not talking,
We're not sharing this shit.
Yeah.
that's a
That
good
hard
point.
Shit
Yep.
that actually
Authenticity.
matters.
Yeah.
I mean, and I also
Bring
think,
it out.
Yeah,
Authentic.
be authentic. I also
Right.
think that it's so I think it's that piece in terms of keeping up with the Joneses. I think it's the piece also around, sometimes, I know for me, like when I left my last position, it was a 4.5 year hiatus. And I was like, I'm not going to work. I don't need to work. I need to focus on my mental wellness. Like, that's more important to me. And that was a
Absolutely.
6-figure job that I was like, okay,
Absolutely.
I'm good. But what that meant was I packed up all my stuff, put it in a storage unit, and I was living with my best friend. Shout out to Christine.
hey,
Boo.
Christine.
And Sage,
Yes.
her little baby.
Yes.
Thank you, boo.
You brought
On
her back to
couch
us good.
for 3.5 years as a
Wow.
grown ass woman.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing
That
was,
is big.
I
Okay.
knew,
Right,
yes, but the
that's
thing
fine.
was, I knew what I was fighting for. I was
Yes.
fighting for my mental health.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I think
Ooh,
sometimes we
wee.
don't always name why sometimes we're choosing to
Yeah.
leave a work or to whatever it is, you know,
Mhm.
it's like, but to be able to say like, but what am I fighting for? I'm
Yes.
fighting for my livelihood. And so because
I
of
love
that,
that.
I'm like, as difficult as it is, as difficult as it was,
Yeah.
I was more interested in my holistic wellness than
Yes.
I was in having to be cute. And
There you go.
there were definitely many of times where I was like, if I have another bowl of spaghetti,
Yeah.
I am done.
That's like rice
You know what I
and
mean?
warm
butter bread.
Right.
She
Sugar on it.
supported you.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we're gonna get to
supported
that.
each
We're
other.
gonna get to that in
Yeah.
one moment. But yes, but that
Yeah.
is the other
Yeah.
side of it. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Auntie.
I was just gonna say, but it teaches us such a level of resilience, which I think is the resonance of what Black women are expected
Yeah.
to be.
That's
To
it.
be resilient.
Yeah, we're
And
expected.
fine.
To just have it together.
Resilience is not something you do by yourself.
Oh my
No,
God.
you need
Say
community.
that
That's where
again.
resilience is not something you do alone.
Yeah.
And that's where the depression happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
have, if you still are working with shame or
Yes.
parents, you gotta let that go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta let that go.
Oh my God, so
You know?
so good. I'm gonna do this two-parter so we can move on to the next session. But and I think we've talked a little bit about this. We've said the word shame, like
Yes.
what are the feelings and emotions that come up? But I also want y'all to, while you think about that, how do you feel like social media? I think when you talked about the whole clothes thing, now that is on social media where the
Right.
world can see
Right.
Old Navy versus these whatever
Yeah.
clothes they're
I used
however
to
they're
have to shop
getting
at
it.
the I used to be so embarrassed about having to go to the Goodwill.
Yeah.
I remember having a bike. My friends cracked on it and called me. It was like, I don't know, some hand-me-down bike or old crusty. And
Oh.
I'm thinking, but at least I have a bike.
Exactly.
But you don't know
But
that
like,
as a child, but as an adult,
Yeah.
my daughter who's 12, who we don't have, she's like, I want to go thrifting. I'm like, you actually want to go thrifting?
and that's the interesting
That's
part
the
too about
thing.
that kind of that
Yeah.
transition.
Okay,
But like when you think
Yeah.
like as an adult having this social media presence, like,
Yeah.
and then what emotions are coming up for you, and how do you feel like social media plays
Oh my
into
God.
this
I mean,
silence that we
turn it
go
off.
into?
I mean, I think
Delete
when
the
you are
apps.
when you're in this space of financial wilderness, you
There
know,
you
like
go.
you
Oh,
need to.
that's a
it's-
good way of saying
we
it.
need
Yeah,
not
financial wilderness.
Be like we have to be very mindful of what we're ingesting, what
Yes.
we're watching,
Exactly.
what we're consuming,
Yeah.
the eating, the
Yes.
seeing,
Yeah.
the talking, like the people you hang out with, like. It has to be very, very, very intentional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if it's not something that is lifting you up, the other thing I would say is like what I call create your own power list.
Yeah.
You know, and your power list is like what are the things in this season that's going to help you keep your power up?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like because otherwise it is
Right.
going to be easy to fall when you start seeing again more people pretending.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's like
Mute
give
your
yourself
friends.
a break.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
mute
it.
your friends.
I mean, and I
Mute
think
your
that some
friends,
people
find the
will
ones
say
you
though,
can
like it
connect
is
with.
really hard to do that. But I think that really what happens, and I think we've all touched on this a little bit, is you have to tap in a little bit
Absolutely.
to learn how to tap
Big time.
out. Because
Big
it's like
time.
if you just stay in this
that
cycle,
one
like
more
my daughter
time.
would tell me
You
like,
have to
Mommy,
learn
you're just
to-
scrolling. And I'm like, am I really? And I had to really get real conscious about my desire. Aquaria's really good at like putting her phone down, y'all. She will not respond to a text message for days. She'll
Literally,
come back.
like, I'm so
Clearly.
sorry. It's been 48 days and 37 nights.
Here's my
Like a
thought.
song.
But here's my piece.
She is amazing at tuning stuff out, and I feel like we have to tap into that energy. We just need a lesson from Aquia, but it's also like just being aware. Turn it off. If it's making you feel some kind of way,
Yeah.
turn it off,
off.
right? Understand where those emotions are rooted from. What Aquia said one time,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, just a little bit ago, she said there's a trigger. She said, what happened before the financial
yeah,
depression?
yeah.
There's a trigger. So that emotion that you're having, there's something that triggered that. A lot of times it is social media. A lot of times it is keeping up with the Joneses, all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so perhaps you turn off, or maybe you pivot in what you're ingesting.
There you go.
Instead of looking at
change
what
your
friends
algorithm
are doing, or whatever these people that are, influencers are doing, because a lot of that is all pomp and circumstance. It's not real, right? And we know that. And even setting up for this podcast, it's all about a look. But maybe you start tuning into things that are more, they resonate with you better.
Absolutely.
Maybe there's nature. What is accessible to you that doesn't cost money?
Absolutely.
And then you hold space. You can do a meetup and say, hey, let's just meet up and bring your own tea. Or let's sit down and talk about something. Let's go to the local library.
Right. I mean, there are so many ways to do it. And I think that too, with social media, set up 2 different accounts. Your algorithm is set for your energy, right? And so have the algorithm curated around the things that are going to bring you peace and joy. And I think that any algorithm you're in should bring you peace and joy, but that's not always the case. And sometimes you want to tap into the people. Sometimes you want to tap into the violence. I mean, it just is what it is. We all got that other side. But when you need to tap out of it, have someplace else to tap. If you have to have your phone in your hand, get another Finsta. I think they call them fake Instagrams or whatever. But
Finsta. And then I think even that's where the podcast come in.
Start listening to Group Chat Over Brunch, BrunchHER with an apostrophe S.
Seriously,
we got y'all.
Bringing in information and content that resonates with where you want to be.
Absolutely.
Start visualizing. You can do art projects. I don't know if Cleveland Museum of Art still does this, but when Joel was little, we used to go. It was called Open Art Studio, and anybody could go. And you have 4 hours to 3 hours to just go and use all their materials and just create. Just create.
And we just have to figure out how to do it. All right, let's talk about friendships. Friendships are supposed to be a safe space, and I feel like we've talked a little bit about this, but let's dig into it a little bit more. But when money enters the picture, it can get complicated. Like, how have your friendships been affected or tested by financial challenges? I mean, and this doesn't necessarily have to be like, they stopped talking to me or I stopped. Like, it's a lot of it. Stuff is internal. How have you all been affected by that? How have you been affected by being the one that's got it, or if you're on the other side, being the one that don't have it?
I mean, I'll say this: there was this time when I was someone that had it, and I had a 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. And
bro,
I had
that's like
huge.
It was
$1 million.
It was
baller.
It was a big deal. It was also rent
apartment in
stabilized.
Brooklyn, like son, come through.
It was rent stabilized, which makes a big difference. And a friend needed a place to stay. And the thing is, I was already paying the rent. And so I was like, girl, you can stay here. And there's no expectation for you to have to pay, because that was
had to pay
anyway, right?
Yeah.
And then when I left my position, she was like, well, I got you for a year. And I wasn't even expecting it. You know what I mean? And so I think there's this, like, when you have something, give. When you don't have something, receive. I think the thing about money, too, to understand is money is energy. Energy has to move. It has to move. It has to move. It has to move.
The mindset around it,
Even in a state of this wilderness, and if someone is feeling depressed, it's like you still have to move that energy. So if you need to go outside, if you need to go for walks, if you need to, but move it so that the money can move and make its way to you. You know what I mean? But
that's a very good point in like all of life. Go ahead.
You're saying I have something on the other end of that. Like, you gave to that person and they gave back to you. There was a point where my parents were divorcing. My mom was like, we're going to move to LA. All of us, we were older, so we were like, cool, whatever, let's do it. It didn't work out in LA, so we had to come back.
Right.
We came back with nothing. At this point, I mean, like, we were fake it till you make it. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we had it a lot of the times, but sometimes it was fake to make it. This time, there was nothing.
Yeah.
We came back. We stayed in the basement of a friend's house. Now, when I tell you that my mom was going through the most depressing time of her life.
Yes.
My brothers were kind of all over the place. I'm a young adult at this point. I think I was like 20, 21. They're going through like 16, 14-year-old shit.
Very impressionable years.
My dad's nowhere to be found.
Yes.
We're in this basement. And then she turns around. This person that has been in my life since I was like 6 years old. She turns around and it's now being like cruel to us.
Oh, yeah, that'll happen too.
To where
That'll happen too.
It's
Now
like
I have
you're
my
in my space.
Yeah.
Like,
Now I have the thumb over you. Yeah.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
she turns around and says, she confronted me saying, "You stole a North Face and UGG boots."
Oh my goodness.
Now, when I tell you guys at this point, because I've always been the one to like, all right, we're fucked up. Let me figure this out.
Yeah.
How am I gonna figure it out?
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm driving drugs.
Yeah.
I'm working multiple jobs, using friends' cars.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will get my family out of this basement. And then you come to me and you ask me about the fucking UGG boots, North Face jacket.
Yeah.
And you think that I stole
This is why. And
people will betray you.
people will absolutely. And I think a lot of times in your darkest moment, and we have to be very conscious and careful about this. This is why it's hidden. You get what I'm saying? Like, so you said earlier, because we're not talking about it. It's a protection. We're protecting ourselves from this trap. But I do think that there are. I mean, I think I love the juxtaposition of the experiences, and I think that like for when I've had. Well, first of all, don't nobody know, because I'm gonna thug it out and I'm gonna be like you. And I think what happens though, is just know that there are people out there in your community that will show up in the exact same way as the Queer's friend did. And that you do not have to have this experience that Bree had. But a lot of us are expecting the experience that Bree had. But I do think off the rip, right? But I do think that there are people out there in your community, in your circle, and we'll leave some resources that will absolutely help you and come to your rescue. I just don't believe in like having group chats and all of this stuff if we can't really use it for community and true love, because it's, need is not convenient. I'm sorry, but it's not going to be convenient if I break my leg and I need you to come by, or if I have to have a surgery spontaneously. That is not love. And so I don't want to be in fake groups. I don't want to have fake friends that will take you in just to beat you down so they feel better. We just have to. It is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I wanted to touch on, can I be personal for a minute? So for those that maybe watch the show, close to me, I've lost my mother in this season of life. And I'm so used to just doing everything for myself, and I got this, and and then there's other people, but I've been in a space where I've been supporting and trying to figure it out and having to give where there was no reciprocity there. And I started getting these little texts from the group, like, okay, what kind of foods? I think it was
Yes.
What do you like to eat it last? I was like, where are these questions coming from?
Right.
And then you asked me what time I was going to be home. And I'm like, wow, these girls asked me that. What is it called again? It was set up. It was
it's the food meal train. Yeah.
What's it called?
Meal train.
Meal train. I don't know about this, but the level of humility, y'all, of my friends just sending, I have $275 of DoorDash discounts, and y'all showed up with these plans. I'm like, this is why, by the way.
Thank you.
That means so much to me, especially when I wasn't receiving support in the space that I kind of thought it would come from naturally.
Absolutely.
And I get that, people are who they are, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
lean in where you are pulled in.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now that makes me so humble to where I'm like, see, that's what Siva. Siva means giving back, doing service.
Oh.
I feel like God said, you've been doing all this.
Yes. Relax.
Yes.
Rest.
Yes.
Rest. Yeah.
But then you have to, I think maybe you're shifting to that about, but giving back. Because
Yes.
if you have it,
Yes.
you have to give, but you also, I wanted to touch on too, but you got to be careful. There's a lot of people out here that you can be transparent with and give to them, and they'll take advantage of you.
That's like always going to be the case. I just think like in this right now, please, like, and I honestly, so when I give, I often forget, right? Because I'm not looking for anything back from anybody. Like I just give. I mean, I'll donate randomly to like, oh, this thing popped up on Instagram. Like, let me give $10. Let me give $50. Like, because I know that nothing is permanent, right? And it's gonna come back. And also, like, I just pray that if I am ever in a financial depressive state again, that I have people who are willing to pour into me, who are willing, and it's not just financial depression, where this is the topic today, but it's just really people pouring into you in your time of need and really spending some energy, because to your point, money is currency, energy, all of that stuff, real time, your presence is energy as well. And I'm just so grateful all the time for the people who are around. Yes.
Sometimes you just need the betrayal.
As a lesson.
Like, you can be careful all you want.
Oh my goodness.
You just
And it's
need
going to happen. It's going to happen.
And you got to be grateful. What did you tell me today?
the best thing.
You gotta be grateful.
Yeah.
And all of
Find
these
gratitude.
seasons,
Yes.
you have to be grateful.
Yes.
I'm grateful that she betrayed me. Because you know what? I was still a friend after that.
Yep.
And then I finally was like,
Deuces.
thanks.
Deuces.
Right. I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
You need it.
Yeah, you
need
do.
it. Sometimes a wake up.
What do you guys
Absolutely.
think- maybe I'm still in the question. What do you think it means to show up for a friend?
I mean, that's actually one of the next questions. I mean, I think that, like, so for me, it is, it depends, right? Like, I have, my girl is in Germany and I love her to life. And, oh my God.
Yes, you
She
do.
one of my Leo sisters, girl. Look, they all get on my damn nerves. But she lost her brother. It's almost been a year in January. And when I talked to her a couple days ago, like, she just wasn't feeling all that well. And Germany's 6 hours ahead, right? So it's always kind of iffy what time I can call her. So it was midnight. It was about 20 minutes to midnight here. And I was like, I'm going to call her. And I know that I break through her silence. So I took advantage. I was like, I know you're getting this call because I'm on the do not silent list.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I called her on FaceTime and I'm literally in the bed in the dark. She's like groggy. Her bonnet is not on. I'm talking about it. I'm like, what is wrong with your hair? Your lips are chapped. Like, what is going on? And she's like, Haja, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like, okay.
5 in the morning.
Right. I'm like, okay. But she got it together. She put some grease on her lips because I was like,
You're like,
I'm like, you might wake up with a fat. I literally told her, I'm like, you might wake up with a fat man next to you. I need you to get it together. And meanwhile, when I go to bed, my lips are greasy because I refuse. So we're on the other side. Anyway, I sat there in hell space.
Good.
And tears rolled down her face. Oh. And she loves her brother so much. So showing up is sometimes just being a face that you see. And I just kept affirming her. And I said, you got to keep his name very present. And you just got to keep doing this. And she said, I don't know why you called me at this time, but I'm just happy you did. So it just, I just needed to get a time where it works for our schedules. And I'm like, I know I'm going to wake her up, but I really don't care. I need to lay eyes on her. So I think I'm going to show up in that way. I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to fill out the situation. What is the need at this moment, right? Sometimes it's money. Sometimes it's just, I just need you to listen to me. And there were points, you know what I recognized too? I recognized that I just needed to be quiet because she would take long pauses. And you know how naturally we want to put something in that space?
Yeah, no.
And I said, no, just be there. And then her thought came. So be attentive to the people in your life, knowing what they're going through, and listen for signs and clues. Because to Akuya's point earlier, sometimes you just don't know. There's a trigger. Sometimes we don't know that there's a trigger, but sometimes our friends see it when they're paying attention. So maybe we're not saying it out loud, but look at your friends, know what they're asking, and knowing what they're asking without asking for it, and then ask them, pull them in. So yeah, show up how you can. All right, y'all, we're gonna move on. So we're gonna give y'all a list of things that are free to do. Take your people. Wait Over Wednesdays is one. I know we talked about, I think CMA, Cuban Museum of Arts. I just went to a beautiful event at the Martin Luther King Library 2 days ago. We saw this beautiful documentary. Shout out to Rhonda K. Brown for hosting and facilitating that beautiful documentary. That was free. Yeah. And I think that right now with everything that's going on, there are a lot of free things out there. So take advantage and keep an eye out on those things. We're going to get into this. Take a hike, nature.
I'm such a
put
reader.
your feet
I think
in
this is
the
best
ground.
time to just start reading. I've got a few books on the table we're sharing from our local library. This is a good time to lean in, especially this time of year.
So many resources too.
So many resources.
Entrepreneurs.
So many resources.
Right. And Home Depot too. Home Depot.
Everywhere.
Go learn to trade at Home Depot. Learn to cut some wood. Yes. Home Depot is amazing. All right, we're gonna get into this Ask Aunty segment because we know that the young people have some questions about this time. Y'all heard a lot about our youth, but we want to hear from y'all. What y'all got for us?
Do you want me to read off all of them?
Yeah, whatever you want. Pick one or two.
This one is very relevant. I usually love the holidays, but this year money is tight and I don't even feel like celebrating. Everyone else seems so joyful and I just feel heavy. How do I handle the pressure to be married when I'm struggling inside?
I think you start with doing what feels good for you. I was talking to a friend the other day about I need to put my lights up. Even though I'm not. And again, I call it commercial Christmas. That's my belief set because it really is.
It is commercial.
It's all when you really peel back the layers of what the holidays mean. It's about meeting a quota. It's a commercial perspective.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the spiritual aspect of what you practice, but maybe you do what just works for you. Maybe you do put the lights on, but maybe you don't. Maybe actually
And that's okay.
a good idea on the electricity.
Yeah. Right.
That part.
Yeah.
Candles, the things
Yeah.
you can do. And it just goes back to being authentic.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
you don't participate this year.
Yeah.
Maybe you re-gift. Maybe you do something that's a charity.
I love
and
that.
I don't know if we talked
That
about
actually
this,
feels
but
amazing.
It's a good time to volunteer your time.
It is. That's a great one.
Whole space for
Right,
people
because
that-
then you get into
Yes.
gratitude because you're like, wait a minute.
You get into
I'm in a different place now. I'm in a place that they're praying to be in.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
There you
That's
go.
a great one.
Your little better is someone else's significantly
Absolutely.
Yes, or your really bad is actually terrific for somebody out there that
Absolutely.
hasn't seen a
I
warm
love
shower in weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if I'm showing me the free plate, I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah. I think that's
Like, if I
that's
gotta
like
like,
that's beautiful. I want to add to that too. We talked about some books. I think we mentioned Eckhart Tolle in one of the episodes, The Power of Now and The Power of Present.
Yes.
And there's a great book by Dr. Joe Dispenza called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It is about losing your mind so you can find yourself. Oh, it's a great, great book. We are way too mind heavy. And so in this present moment, it would be like me sitting here with y'all thinking about all the shit that I have going on in my life. That's not fair to this moment. And so when you allow the moment to be merry around you and you live in that space, you will be merry. You will find your, it'll lift you.
Right.
So be in this space. Be
Let it
in
go.
now.
Let
That's
it
it.
go.
If you
because
find
it's
the
still-
sage
still
to
gonna
say
be
when
on.
Yes.
you stay in the now, be present. When you worry about when you think about the past, you create depression.
You create
When
anxiety.
you fuss about the future,
Sorry,
you create worry and
yes,
anxiety.
exactly.
Right?
Yep,
So just,
exactly.
But it
Be
takes
present.
time. Sometimes
It does.
especially when you're thinking about what's
Yeah.
coming next. How do I pay this thing?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't pay those.
Start the practice
Just
now.
don't.
Exactly. Because there are times.
Yep.
Listen,
For sure.
and this is what I talked about. This is one of the episodes to that point. When I was broke down, had left the kid's father, I got these 2 babies. I don't have no money. My coworker and I wrote on the inside of a Chipotle napkin, "Fuck it." And we would pass it around. And so sometimes you just got to say, fuck it, because I'm alive. I am able to move forward. I have to be present in this moment, and I cannot let this completely absorb every
Take
bit
me
of my
over.
life. So
I mean, one of the things
Yeah.
to name to that too is there was a time when I wasn't able to pay any of my bills and really like my credit card. And I remember being like, I was like, well, listen, I can pay y'all $10.
That's it.
a
Look,
month.
do what you
And
can.
they were trying to tell me, no, we can't take that. It's too low. Da da da. And I said,
I can pay you 7. How
right.
about that?
And here's the thing. That's the thing.
that's
Here's the thing. Don't let somebody else stop you from being in integrity in the way that works for you. I sent them $10 because I was like, this is my word to me.
Yes.
Yeah, stop being afraid to like break the rules
Yes.
or whatever rules we have been told. It's like keep your word to yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep your word to
Because when you
yourself.
take
Love that.
like when you actually take the step to call the creditor,
Yeah.
I feel like as soon as you're like, oh, you will take it.
Exactly. And the courage. It is.
And
Yeah.
even if they say no,
Fascinating that shit.
even if they say no,
Do
even
it
if they
anyway.
say no, do it.
Do it anyway.
Anyway.
Yep.
Do it
Because
anyway.
they're gonna take it, okay?
Yeah.
They will.
They
take
will.
it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say too, with the financial collapse in 2008 and then COVID,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these companies, you have to be mindful. They have reserves. They have risk reserves set
Yeah.
aside. They've already hedged.
They ain't
their bet
losing
on-
nothing.
Right. They've already hedged their bet on who's gonna default on what. Before
Yeah.
that's where the whole credit game comes from. It's all about risk. And be mindful that a lot of these banks and these creditors, it's fiduciary. This stuff is fiat. They don't even have it anyway.
Oh, right.
Right.
They're using your money.
They're
Right.
using your money, and if you were to go and do a run on the banks, don't do that. But if you do a run on the banks,
Ain't no money in there. They can't. They have to go to the Fed to get the money.
for a cheeseburger today. They don't
Exactly.
have it either.
It is so funny.
These are multi-billion-dollar companies that look that way on the books, but when you pull things back, they don't have it.
And this is
Absolutely.
this is back to that point about the pretending.
Yeah.
You know, like understanding that
Major
Everything is-
we brunchers, we don't have to keep pretending.
No,
You know what I'm
we
saying? Because
don't.
we can create a whole new financial and economic paradigm if we
Absolutely.
choose to not do that. The other thing I was going to say about
Or
this
maybe
question
PB&J out
around
here.
holidays is to also consider writing a letter to the holidays, you know, and
Ooh, I
like
like that.
exploring what is my new relationship to the holidays.
Yeah.
You know, at this stage in my life,
yo.
you know what I mean? It's like just because I think anything we're struggling with is an invitation to be in dialogue with.
Yeah,
So we're struggling
absolutely.
with finances. It's like, dear finances,
Yeah.
here's the deal.
Ooh, that's so
How
good.
can we reconnect a little differently and
Yeah.
keep it
Moesha
exploratory?
moment.
Have your Moesha
I
moment.
miss
Keep
her.
it
Think about
exploratory.
Moesha. Yeah,
I know
yeah,
we don't
I know
have our
it.
sister Ramad here today, but I think she would even be adding like the idea of a potluck. Like
Oh,
you come
yeah.
together,
I love
right?
that.
Yes.
Because, you know,
Yes.
from
Yep.
an African setting,
And we just put a little bit
think
in.
about the idea of poverty shows up very different. I'm only speaking
Very
on that
different.
because I have a child with someone from there, and I've seen what I would consider, what people would consider to be lack.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so much abundance.
So much.
There's abundance
So
in the
much.
joy.
So
Yeah.
joy and
The
the
joy.
organic
And
life.
everybody's
The
gonna
food
eat.
was good.
Yep,
I'm
everybody
like,
gonna eat.
listen.
Everybody's gonna eat.
All right, y'all. We're gonna keep it moving. No, we're gonna keep it moving.
Okay.
So we have a closing ritual here, right? And I want to just really, first of all, applaud you all for your bravery, for putting it out there to our brunchers with an apostrophe S, because this table is yours, and we really want y'all to feel that.
Yes.
For being so vulnerable and open about the experiences that y'all have had, the experiences that I have had. I mean, there's more to it. We'll have to circle back to this another episode. But we want to leave something on the plate for you all. What are y'all leaving on the plate for our brunchers as they navigate this season? I'm gonna leave presence, right? Like, be present and be present with gratitude. So when you sit and you really think about what you have and you look at the landscape of the world, like not just this country, not just your current space, you look at the landscape of the world right now. We have the things that are going on in Sudan and the Congo. We have what's going on in Palestine. Like, there's a lot that's going on. There are a lot of people that wish they had the morsel of food that you had. So when you stay present in your moment, and be grateful for what you do have, you'll never miss anything. So I'm leaving that on this.
I love that. And I love that you made it a global thought process, right? I think for me, it's just develop a ritual of gratitude.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what's going on, whether you have it or you don't, just develop a ritual of gratitude. It could be as simple, I'm so grateful that I can walk. I'm grateful that I can hear.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I can feel.
Yeah.
Start with these small things, right? And then it continues to expand. And that will create a resonance for you to start receiving where you might not have. So
I love
So
that.
veggie wrap off of all of those two, before we pass it to Bree, I will also say, the phrase I'm leaving is zero-based budgeting, and it is a technique for how to actually look at your numbers and to do it in a way it is literally dollar for dollar. It's an opportunity.
Envelopes, sometimes people use those.
Say that again?
Sometimes people use the envelopes if they have the
People can
cash.
use the
Yeah.
envelopes, that's right, but it really is an opportunity where you look at the amount that's coming in, and dollar for dollar, you're giving each dollar a job.
Right.
Oh, I
And it's
love
a really
that.
beautiful,
What if it's just
it's a
$2
really beautiful,
though? What
it doesn't matter how
Yeah.
much it
Yeah.
is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how much is coming in. It's still an opportunity because money wants us to be in dialogue.
It does. It
And so the
does.
zero-based budgeting technique is a way to do that. It develops your presence, the word that you let. It also develops your gratitude, because as you're looking at your numbers, you can be saying, and thank you for that, and thank
Yes.
you for that, and thank you for
Don't
that.
begrudge money.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
give thanks, because
Yeah.
it will change. It's a season.
Oh,
It's not a
I
forever.
love it. Go ahead, Bree. Go ahead, Bree. Oh, I'm sorry. I left presence.
Yeah, presence,
Gratitude.
ritual of gratitude,
Zero-based budgeting.
and then
I'm gonna leave. It's okay.
Ooh.
Like, it's
It
just
really
okay.
is.
Yes.
It really is.
It's okay to be where you're at.
It is.
It's okay to strive for more.
that's
Why?
right.
Yeah, why do I get tingly from that? Yeah.
It's just
It's okay.
okay.
We do. Oh my God. That literally is it. Oh my goodness. I love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. So,
We gonna be all right.
it's, remember, your value, all of y'all brunchers out there, does not shrink when your finances do. You are not diminished by anything that you do not have. Just like you are not lifted by like anything physical that you do get. Like, you are valuable. You were born valuable. Period. You were born
Already.
worthy. Period. You're still
we need you
brilliant.
here.
And we need you here. We really do need you here. So we have our ritual with the 3 closing songs, 3 songs that will resonate with this episode. That also resonates with our women over 40. We're going to talk about Rise Up by Aunty, but I want to read some of the lyrics. You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter. Oh, but I see it in you, so we going to walk it out. We going to walk it out. We going to walk it out.
Power to the people.
And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I love this song so much. When it came out, I would be belting this in the car, like riding down the street, because it lifted me so much. but it's a community. When she says we gonna walk it out, she's saying we gonna walk this journey together.
That's right.
Ooh, and I'm so grateful to be on this journey with y'all together.
Right.
There's another one by SZA called Good Days, y'all. This song is so good. And some of the lyrics that resonated was, all the while I await my armored fate with a smile. We as Black women over 40, we have to do these things with a smile, even when we want to cry.
Yes.
I still want to try, still believe in good days.
It's that trying part, child.
Yes.
You have to, because if you're not trying.
Start writing down
Yeah.
affirmations.
Defeating you.
Yes, it is.
Sing them until you believe them.
Yeah, sing it till you believe it. Yup, fake it till you make it. Right.
That's
Yup.
right.
Power in song. By
There's
the way.
power.
There's a lot of
The
power.
other line that resonated with me was, tell me I'm not my fears, my limitations. I disappear if you let me. And this speaks to like us going inside and being reclusive when we have financial problems. And then the last line I love from this song is, gotta hold my own, my cross to bear alone. We feel this often, you know, like there have been times where, I mean, when I was younger and didn't have, oh my God, I was like, I guess we just gonna have to ride this out. But I did learn to let it go, let it be, and it's okay. It's okay. One last one is by Destiny Child, Survivor. After all,
I'm not gonna give up.
after all the sadness and darkness and sadness, soon comes happiness. If I surround myself with positive things, I'll gain prosperity.
Right on.
Oh man, what amazing!
What's up, H
Y'all are so dope.
Going down.
I appreciate y'all. H-Town, right? You're right. We got the Houston hottie here. She's not a Cleveland hottie. Right, she was born. She was born here.
You got some outside, boy. You got some outside business.
We are gonna close this table, and we are gonna give Bree a big birthday shout out. Happy birthday,
Scorpio.
we love her. We appreciate her. It is Scorpio season.
Yes.
So happy birthday to all the Scorpios. Happy holidays to all of you all. We appreciate you, BrunchHERs. You are worthy. You are valid. You are still here. And be present. And, join us in the chat, group chat. Group chat over brunch.
Blanket.